Hi everyone. It's been a little while since I've done a video specifically for twin flames, and I had a message come through for a portion of the Twin Flame Collective. So this reading video I know will not resonate for everyone. It is actually meant for individuals who have been on some kind of twin flame journey, but one that has been very unconventional. So this is speaking to a very specific group of twin flames who have not been in a traditional physical manifested union with their twin flame counterpart, but have been walking a more unconventional path. So this path could range from being in a situation where maybe your twin flame transitioned in the past to the afterlife and to the spirit realm. And so you've still been connecting with them in a spiritual form, but they haven't been here physically. This also could relate to twin flame counterparts where circumstances in the physical realm became so heavy or so challenging and dense between the two of you that it was more conducive for you to live separately or to lead separate lives or to have maybe more of a boundaried kind of situation when it comes to your communication, your interaction, your contact. For some of you, you may not be in any kind of contact or have any kind of interaction with the person that you consider to be your twin flame at this point. And of course, if that is the case for you, that is entirely your choice. If that is what feels most aligned for you, if that is where your intuition has guided you, then trust that. For others of you, you may be in a situation where you do often speak or interact with your twin flame, but the way that you define your relationship in terms of the 3D may look very unconventional. Maybe it is more so looking like a quote unquote friendship in the physical realm, or maybe it's more in a gray area, or it's romantic but undefined, or really any kind of unconventional pathway would fall under this umbrella for twin flames. This message is for twin flames on any unconventional path, meaning a path that has not necessarily led you to a physical manifested in-person, like traditional looking union state. And for this specific group of twin flames that I'm speaking to, I'm getting that there may be a lot of uncertainty as to whether or not that is something that you desire with this person in the future. So for some of you, you may actually still be kind of holding out for that or holding the space for that. But there's also a recognition that because of the current circumstances or the way things are in their life or the way that the two of you interact, that may not be viable for you right now, and you may have an awareness of that. I'm also hearing self-protective. So you may be protecting yourself, your own emotional well-being, your own divine path, your own purpose by not rushing forward some kind of total physical romantic union with this person before the time feels right intuitively. And again, for others of you, there may actually be no desire to even hold that as an option. You may really not desire to have any kind of physical romantic reunion with this person now or in the future. And again, wherever you fall on that kind of spectrum of things, that is entirely your journey. There's no right or wrong here. Your intuition is really guiding you correctly for you. And I actually feel that is a major reason that I titled this video, Twin Flames, You Passed the Test. And I almost wanted to add a little caveat to that and say the test you didn't even know was happening, because for many of you, you didn't even know that you were being tested in a sense, and you've really been walking in the dark for a while now. So I'm hoping that if you are part of this like rare, specific collective of twin flames, this video finds you, and I hope that it provides some kind of clarity for you or sheds light on your path. Of course, only take what does connect for you intuitively. It really is your intuition that is the guide of your life. And I'm only here to potentially help you confirm some of that intuitive guidance, but really you are the intuitive one. You are the powerful one. I always like to remind you of that at the beginning of these videos because I really do believe that with all my heart and soul. And it's my goal to help you connect more consciously with your inner self, not to be an external kind of like guide, but to point you back to your inner connection. So what I'm getting is that whatever your path has looked like with your twin flame, you've been required to really feel in the dark and to listen to your intuition, even when it didn't look conventional or make any sense to you at the conscious level. So I feel that for a while, you may have desired or held this kind of hope for a physical, traditional union state with this other person, with your twin flame. But it became very clear to you through interacting with them, through the circumstances, through how your connection was playing out in the physical, that something about this connection was, in its wounded state, detrimental to you. And I really emphasize in its wounded state because I do feel that there is that potential for harmony if this connection was healed on both sides, if both of you were in a state where you would be able to sustain that kind of harmony. I feel that potentially this could be a very beautiful union if that is something that you intend and something that you desire. But what I'm getting is that there's been a level of wounding that my guides are referring to, a deep traumatization specifically on this other person's end. So I feel that the person that you consider to be your twin flame has taken on a very heavy load karmically in this lifetime. And I'm seeing this could be something related to their family circumstances. I'm also hearing this could be related to their job. That doesn't have to apply here. But I'm getting that as a soul, they took on a lot of karma and a lot of challenges, and this led to a lot of fragmentation within them. This has brought about complication in your connection because you have this ability to see straight through to the soul of this person, of your twin flame. You know who they are. Beneath all of that trauma, beneath all of that heavy karma that they're carrying, you know who they are when they are whole, not when they are fragmented as they have been in this physical life. And just your knowing of that has actually been very healing to this person. And simply you existing on this planet while holding this knowingness of their wholeness, of who they really are as a soul, even if you never interact with them physically, even if you never communicate, just holding that knowingness while being present here is so powerful. And it's actually activating and healing to this person. However, there are things that they have to do on their end. And I feel that in many cases, this other person has been dragging their feet and has been very slow to put in the work on their end. Not necessarily, I mean, in some cases, yes, it could be because they are intentionally kind of not self-evaluating or introspecting. But I have to say that for many of them, I feel they've just been carrying a lot. That's not to excuse any kind of negative behavior, because of course, I always recommend that you love yourself first, protect yourself first, do what is right for you. But coming from this person's angle, I do feel that their soul has been burdened with a lot of responsibility. And I keep picking up some of this responsibility is for others, like within a family system or within some kind of soul family or like a soul system. I just see so much on their shoulders that they've been carrying, that they've been dealing with. And I feel that's part of why it's made it very hard for you to choose yourself at times and to distance or to walk away from this person or situation, because you have an awareness that how they've been exhibiting and how they've been showing up is only a result of the heavy energy and dynamics that they've been carrying on their own and the heavy karmic patterning that they've taken on, and that it's not really them on a deeper level. But when I say that you pass the test, what I mean is you recognize that choosing yourself is choosing the connection and choosing the other person, your twin flame. You passed the test when you fully trusted that if this really is a divine connection, then the two of you are connected at the deepest, most inner level, most energetic level. And as a result of that, when you do something to heal or to shift yourself in a positive way, when you love yourself, even if it means in the physical, that looks like separating from this person physically, breaking off some kind of connection, breaking off communication, setting boundaries with them. If you're doing that from a place of self-love and self-support, and you are listening to your own inner guidance through that process. When you choose yourself, you are choosing the connection. The thing is, most people kind of get this backwards, and many people will fall into the trap of thinking of it the other way around. They think because my twin flame and I are the same frequency energetically, I should choose the other person, or I should choose this connection looking a certain way in the physical realm over myself. Like I should sacrifice myself for the connection, quote unquote, or for this other person physically because they are my twin flame, and because choosing the connection or choosing them is choosing me. So I'll sacrifice myself. I'll sacrifice my boundaries. I'll do something that feels like a self-betrayal in order to hold this image of the connection together in a certain way in the physical because we're connected. But see, it's the other way around. When you choose yourself, you choose the connection. Meaning, when you choose to honor, respect, love, and show up for yourself, no matter what that means for the physical connection, you are actually choosing what is best for the whole. You are actually holding the space for them to heal as well. You are holding the frequency on a higher level that is actually inspiring and assisting your twin flame to lift themselves up out of the karmic cycles that they may be entrapped in, and to connect with a higher version of themselves. Now, because we do have free will in this lifetime, they still have to make the choice consciously to do that. But you hold that space and you inspire them up to that level when you are the example of it, when you choose yourself instead of betraying yourself, when you choose your truth, even if it's messy and raw and confusing and doesn't fit into a perfect physical union looking box. When you choose that truth regardless, you emanate this pure energy of truth that inspires your twin flame to align with their own truth. And that will cleanse their own frequency and lift them into a higher version of themselves as well. So you passed the test when you didn't fall for the idea that you have to betray yourself to uphold some kind of traditional looking physical union with this person in their wounded state who wasn't putting the work in on their end. And because of that, you've shifted everything. And I feel that if this video found you, if it's resonated with you so far, if you're part of this particular group of twin flames, because you passed this test, because you chose your truth and to express that truth, no matter how raw and messy and confusing and illogical it seemed, you stood in that truth. You stood in the not knowing. You chose yourself through the not knowing. And because you had the courage to do that, your twin flame is actually beginning to transform as well. And I'm getting that this video found you because many of you have been either sensing that psychically or you've been picking up on physical signs of that happening. Maybe this person has literally begun to open up to you in ways that they haven't in the past, or when they've reached out to you or interacted with you, you can tell that there is this softer, more authentic, more aligned version of them that is shining through. And that's because you had the courage not to betray or compromise yourself for the sake of the ego being able to kind of put this connection in a box and tie it up with a bow and say, okay, now we're in this like physical union. Everything must be wrapped up perfectly. No, you chose to go down this messy, raw, real journey, listening to your own truth, showing up for yourself every single step of the way, even if it didn't look the way that the ego may have wanted it to look. And this was not easy, but I'm getting that you continue to take one step forward after another, regardless. And now you're in this place where I truly feel as though your twin flame has been beginning to heal and to open themselves in ways that they never have before. And of course, it is still entirely up to you whether or not you desire to connect with this person, whether you want to define your physical relationship with them in any kind of way, because regardless, you've discovered the truth that union is something that happens within yourself, and then it can manifest itself physically or be defined in physical 3D terms, however you desire to define it. But it happens energetically first. And so you found that energetic wholeness, that energetic union within yourself by healing your internal divine masculine, that part of yourself that shows up for you, that supports you, that sets boundaries, that stands up for you, but also healing your inner feminine, the part of you that feels safe to play, to create, to be her own muse. You fused both of those aspects of your inner self together. You're standing on that foundation, and now you are unstoppable and unshakable. And what I'm getting is your twin flame through the quantum realm has sensed that wholeness that you've come into within yourself, and it's inspired them to find that wholeness within themselves. But this never could have occurred in this way if you had just put a Band-Aid on the situation and just chose to kind of continue connecting with this person physically in a way that felt like a self-betrayal, but that may have looked more conventional on the surface, looked more like a conventional quote unquote union. If you'd chosen to do that while betraying yourself in the process, you never would have come to this point where your twin flame is actually actively taking the steps to heal themselves because they've been inspired by feeling that genuine energy shift within you, because you chose union within yourself over needing it to look a certain way or fit into some kind of conventional box externally. And that was the test that you passed. So then, of course, the question is like, now what? And what I'm getting is optionality. What I'm getting is, yes, like I mentioned earlier, because your twin is opening and softening and opening into a genuine connection in ways that they haven't in the past, it seems that there will be opportunities for the two of you to realign, to reconnect, to merge back physically if you desire to connect in more traditional, conventional ways physically, to have more of that level of communication, to define your connection or your union in certain ways physically, because again, that union has already taken place within yourself. So it's going to open up opportunities, if you choose them, to define the union physically in physical 3D, more conventional terms as well. But what I'm getting is that also this is opening you up for love of all kinds, for support of all kinds, because you found that foundation of union and wholeness within yourself. This is actually allowing you to attract in true sacred partnership. And for some of you listening, you may have already solidified some kind of union with a sacred partner who may not be who you consider to be your twin flame initially, but who you share a very deep, divine, beautiful, sacred bond with that is incredibly mutually supportive and is a reflection externally of the wholeness that you've accomplished within yourself, someone who assists you in your spiritual mission and purpose in this life, a very high level soulmate. Now, for others of you, yes, of course, like I mentioned earlier, you could choose to go that route of now, from this place of inner stability, creating or defining some kind of physical union state with your twin flame. But if you do choose to go that route or the other, whichever route you go, or if you choose to remain more solo at this time, because there's also that third route of choosing to kind of go your own way, to be more on a solo route, to focus more on your inner connection with the divine, on your purpose. And of course, within that route, there is the optionality for you to entertain or explore different connections with different soul partners, to still explore what feels aligned for you romantically, what supports you, what lights you up. Or, of course, to not explore that and just to focus on yourself. There are many different options for you to choose from here. And I'm sure as I shared those different options, something about one of those options really lit you up or caught your attention. That is your sign that that is where your soul is leading you right now, whether it is to being more solo, exploring different options, manifesting or attracting in a sacred partner, or reconnecting or kindling a union with your twin flame. Another thing for you to recognize is that these decisions don't have to be made all in one moment. They don't have to be made right now. You are simply being made aware of the different kinds of options that are opening up for you, many of which were not really available to you in the past. So something to keep in mind is that some of these options may have felt very, very closed off to you in the past while you were still finding your union within, while you were still finding your wholeness within. because there may have been literal spiritual roadblocks on those pathways to prevent you from accessing them until you found balance within yourself. So prior to this point on your path, you may not have been able to manifest that sacred partner or to explore other romantic options with soul level connections, to go a solo route to reconnect with your twin flame. You may have felt stuck in something and unable to choose. But the difference is, because you've now fully achieved that union within yourself, you have optionality. You have the ability to choose from a conscious, intuitive, self-connected space. And that is really being emphasized here as well, because the number one thing to remember as you make these choices, whenever and however they feel right to you, the number one thing to remember is to always tap in and check in with how your intuition is leading you. What path is pulling you and why? Is this coming from a clear, genuine, soul deep pull and desire within myself? Or is this decision or choice being pressured externally by either my own conscious mind, my own ego, how I think things need to look, how other people are saying things need to look, external teachings, external societal pressures? It's very important to make the decisions that you make here with these different options, sourcing your guidance from entirely within yourself, what your inner voice is telling you, not from external pressures. And even your own mind can be a form of external pressure if you are mentally trying to force yourself to want to go down a certain pathway that your heart isn't in, that your soul doesn't really crave or desire. So I really hope this reading has been helpful. If it's connected for you, let me know in the comments. I know this is one of those rare, very rare readings meant for a certain group of individuals. I've loved coming on with more videos lately for all of you. So if you've been enjoying that, I would love for you to subscribe and support the channel. Join our beautiful community here on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. And you can now listen to my channeled music under my artist name, Songs by Infinity. The best place to follow my music is Spotify. That is where you can read my lyrics. And also, it tends to be the place where new songs drop first. So the link to my Spotify is also underneath this video. And as a final note, if you would like a tool to really help you to keep your energy clear and aligned with your highest vibrational timeline in love, even if you're not entirely sure what that's going to look like yet, you can still begin to unfold that path by connecting with that energy of unconditional love, by really aligning with that frequency and letting it sort of unfold the path for you ahead of you. And my love Magnetism Subliminal will really help you do that, because regardless of whether you desire a union with your twin flame, with a sacred partner, or you're walking a more solo path, or you're not even really sure, this subliminal will help you to connect with the frequency of unconditional love, which will quite literally make you magnetic for attracting in love, support, positive attention, and amazing opportunities in all areas of your life. Right now, wherever you are on your journey, this subliminal works with the 7 chakras to really clear out any love-related blockages you may be storing, to help you emanate that pure, beautiful, high vibrational, magnetic frequency of unconditional love that attracts so many amazing things back to you, again, in all areas of your life. Yes, in romance, but in all other areas as well. It will literally make you a magnet and a beacon of love. So this comes from my Subliminals app, Sound and Soulful, which, as you can see on the screen, on this app, I have over 130 subliminals for love, relationships, appearance, twin flames, for energy clearing, business, money, and so many other things as well. So you have so many different subliminals to explore and experiment with. And when you find subliminals that really connect with you, your desires, your path, you can create your own custom private playlists in the app. You can listen to any subliminal in 10 different background sound options. And of course, you can read the affirmations while you are listening as well. So the link to download my Subliminals app and try it out free for 7 days is in the pinned comment and description box underneath this video, if that's something you're feeling guided to. Otherwise, I am going to close out this reading here. Thank you so much again for tuning in today. I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy. Have an amazing day, and I will connect with you here again in the next video.